Happy holidays! This is Joyce White, trustee and food historian at the circa 1774 Hammond-Harwood House, a stunning example of Georgian architecture located on Maryland Avenue in Annapolis, Maryland. Let's take a trip back in time to 1825 and imagine Frances and Richard Loockerman, who were living in the house at that time, entertaining their family and friends during the festive season. Two decadent and sumptuous courses consisting of dozens of dishes would have already been served. Then the tablecloth would be removed to showcase the beautiful dining room table upon which the dessert course was set. The fashionable dining style at that time was called service à la francaise, or French service, and consisted of 2 to 3 broad courses, each containing several dishes. The dessert course was so called because it was the last course served before diners deserted the table. These schematic images are taken from 18th and 19th century cookery books showing ideas for how to place the dessert course on the table. Ordinarily, dessert was just fresh fruits, assorted nuts, and/or cheeses. However, dessert varied widely in additional items such as candied fruits and peels, creams, jellies, cakes, fruit compotes, ices, ice creams, syllabubs, and tarts, just to name a few, were also laid on the table for dessert. On special occasions, desserts could be quite extravagant indeed. These period-inspired schematics inspired the circa 1825 dessert course designed for Hammond-Harwood House. You can see that the design is balanced symmetrically and includes dishes of great visual prominence in the center of the table, flanked by more modest side dishes. The centerpiece of this dessert course is a silver piece called an épergne. Épergnes consist of crystal baskets of varying sizes set in a silver framework. Épergnes represent form and function because, while beautiful, they offer a practical way in which to serve fruits, nuts, sweetmeats, and other luxurious treats. This épergne dates from 1790 to 1810 and was made in Sheffield, England. At the base of the épergne is a set of glasses containing raspberry fool, which is a raspberry-flavored cream. Flavored creams and ice creams of assorted flavors and colors were popular dessert items. Mrs. Loockerman recorded a recipe for these fools in her daybook, so it is quite possible they were a favorite of hers. Two dishes next importance to the épergne flank it on either side. On one side is a plate containing a pineapple surrounded by sugared pears. Pineapples and pineapple motifs were very popular in colonial America. Brought to North America from the West Indies, exotic pineapples were definitely considered a treat, particularly at Christmas time. On the other side of the épergne is the beautiful Christmas cake. Cakes such as this one were served for both Christmas and on Twelfth Night, the evening of January 5th, the night before the Epiphany on January 6th. These rich fruit cakes were doused in spirits, covered in marzipan and icing, and often decorated elaborately, just as this one is. At the head of the table is a plate of sugared apples, walnuts, and almonds. Fruits and nuts were very commonly served for dessert. To the right of the nuts is a plate of flummery, a type of gelatin made with wheat, oats, or rice. This flummery is molded into the shape of fish. At that time, it was very common to mold gelatins and ices into various shapes. Let's imagine that clear gelatin was poured over the fish to make it look as if they are swimming in a plate of water. That was a thing. To the left of the nuts is a Christmas pudding, otherwise known as figgy or plum pudding. These puddings date back centuries. The terms figgy and plum refer to the dried fruits contained within them. These puddings were doused in spirits, set aflame, and adorned with holly just before service. Fun fact, the earliest reference to the use of the name Christmas pudding I can find is from Elizabeth Hammond's circa 1819 cookbook, Modern Domestic Cookery and Useful Receipt Book, a British cookbook owned by Frances Loockerman. At the foot of the table is a punch bowl meant to be filled with eggnog. Eggnog is an American variation of a centuries-old British recipe called a posset. Possets were made with milk curdled with citrus, wine, sherry, or beer, and flavored with sugar and spices. By the 17th century, eggs were introduced, and these drinks became known as egg caudles. The first written reference for a recipe of this type with the moniker eggnog dates to 1796, when it was noted to have been served for breakfast at City Tavern in Philadelphia. The use of the term nog in the name of the drink may refer to a noggin, a small wooden vessel used to serve alcoholic drinks. To the right of the punch and cake is a chocolate cream dusted with grated coconut and topped with preserved cherries. Chocolate creams date back hundreds of years, and some, like this one, had a bit of added gelatin to make it stiff enough to be molded into assorted shapes. To the left of the punch and cake is a jaune mange. This is a French word for yellow food and is a derivative of blancmange, or white food. Blancmanges have a long and complex history, but by the 19th century they were known as milky white gelatins made from almond milk and molded into varied forms. Jaune manges get their flavor and color from egg yolks and lemon, but often wine was also added. I hope you enjoyed this look at the type of a festive holiday dessert course the Loockermans could have offered their guests in the 1820s when they lived at Hammond-Harwood House. Please visit my website at atasteofhistory.net for recipes and more food history information. Happy holidays!